This is the scene of the fire incident that gutted the executive lounge at the arrival section of the Sam Mbakwe Airport in Owerri, the Imo State capital, southeast Nigeria. Shattered windows, raised roof, wrecked chairs, debris and ashes all over the place. According to the airport manager, the fire started at about 2 p.m. but was later curtailed by the fire service department. With no loss of lives, FAN says it will commence investigations into the cause of the fire.
The fire department, they were able to contend with the fire quickly before access from the state government. Flight operation has commenced in the airport. So we are actually very sorry for what happened, but investigation is ongoing.
Meanwhile, the Imo State Governor, Rochas Okorocha, and the Imo State Governor-elect, Emeka Ihedioha, who visited the scene of the incident, commended the management of the airport for the swift response in curtailing the fire.
But I appreciate the steps they've taken to ensure that the pain is not much on the visitors. Luckily, it's not affecting flight operations. I'm impressed with their response. That is what is important. And you can see that aircrafts are landing and taking off.
Users of Imo Airport should continue to use the airport. The airport is peaceful and there's no problem at all. But I call on attention of FAN to do something quickly to fix the damaged part so that people can go back to their various offices. But I will advise that people should stay away from that place because of inhaling the dangerous gas.
While normalcy has returned to the airport, it's imperative that the airport authorities act quickly to determine the cause of the fire and hasten the rehabilitation of the affected sections. And on the foreign scene, Mahan Air, a private Iranian airline accused by the West of transporting military equipment to Middle East war zones, has launched a direct flight to Venezuela. The spokesman of Iran's civil aviation organization said a delegation from Mahan Air was also traveling to Caracas to discuss maintaining regular flights between the two countries. The non-stop Tehran-Caracas flight will take 16 hours. The airline was established in 1992 and is Iran's first private airline and has the country's largest fleet of aircraft. France and Germany banned the airline's flight earlier this year, accusing it of transporting military equipment and personnel to Syria and other regional war zones. The United States imposed sanctions on the company in 2011, saying it provided financial and other support to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards. Turkey has switched to a new airport as convoys of trucks ferried thousands of tons of equipment across the city to a giant new hub where Turkey plans to make the biggest in the world. Hundreds of trucks carried equipment such as aircraft, towing vehicles and security sensors from Ataturk on the shores of the Sea of Marmara, 30 kilometers north to the new airport by the Black Sea. The mammoth transfer, described by Turkish authorities as unprecedented in scale and speed, was already largely complete a little more than 24 hours after it began. The new Istanbul airport, costing some $8 billion and one of several mega projects championed by the President Tayyip Erdogan, will initially be able to handle 90 million passengers a year, close to the world's largest existing airport capacity. Authorities plan to expand that capacity to 200 million. This move also comes after 3 false starts and a labor protest over harsh working conditions. Within the airport, passengers are seen around as electronic board shows last flights from Ataturk Airport.
This airport has a great significance for me. I had my first flight from this airport, and now I'm on my last flight from here, which makes me feel happy and sad at the same time.
I've been traveling all around the world. I think here is something special. We call it the bazaar, you know, like in the center of the city. And here, the airport is also a part. It's something special, unique in the world.
The last passenger plane took off from Ataturk on April the 6th, heading to Singapore.
The Boeing 747 Dreamlifter freighter is a wide-body cargo aircraft. Cargo is placed in the aircraft by the world's longest cargo loader. It is an extensively modified Boeing 747-400 and is used exclusively for transporting 787 aircraft parts to Boeing's assembly plants from suppliers around the world. In 2003, Boeing commercial airplanes announced that due to the length of time required by land and sea transport, air transport will be the primary method of transporting parts for the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, then known as the 7E7. Initially, 3 used passenger 747-400 aircraft were to be converted into an outsized configuration in order to ferry sub-assemblies from Japan and Italy to North Charleston, South Carolina, and then to Washington State for final assembly. But a 4th was subsequently added to the program. The large cargo freighter has a bulging fuselage similar in concept to the Super Guppy, also used for transporting wings and fuselage sections. At 65,000 cubic feet, the cargo hold is the largest in the world, and it can hold 3 times the volume of a 747-400F freighter. To achieve this massive transporter, Boeing acquired 4 second-hand 747-400S, 1 from Air China, 2 from China Airlines, and another one from Malaysia Airlines. The first 747 large cargo freighter, LCF, was rolled out of the hangar at Taipei International Airport on August 17, 2006, and it successfully completed its first test flight on September 9, 2006 from this airport. The first 2 LCFs entered service in 2007 to support the final assembly of the first 787 Dreamliners. In December 2006, Boeing announced the 747 LCF will be named Dreamlifter, a reference to the 787's name, Dreamliner. It unveiled a standard livery for the aircraft that included a logo reminiscent of the 787's Dreamliner logo.
And this is where we call it a day on this edition of the program. See you next week, God's willing. I'm Bukola Joe Oketumbi.